Hi, I'm Rick Hijinks, and this is a video that I never wanted to make. But since I'm kind of right in the middle of doing battle with the subject matter, it seemed like a good time to do it. Today's subject is anxiety and panic attacks. I have to confess something. This video is not going to have an answer at the end. It is not going to have anything resembling closure. It's primarily going to be history and whining and complaining and trying to figure things out, perhaps a little self-therapy. But there may be other people going through what I've been going through, and if nothing else, you get to hear that you're not alone. Okay, what do I mean by anxiety and panic attacks? Well, let me describe to you what I'm feeling right now and why I came up to my favorite lake to try to decompress. You ever had a feeling of dread, like the world's biggest monster is about to descend upon you? You've got the whole fight or flight thing going on, meaning every muscle in your body is just locked up and ready to go. Your worst fears, the worst thing you could possibly think of happening to you, you just absolutely know is happening, even though it's not, and there's nothing around you. Your heart is beating fast, your breathing is going up. I'm getting anxious, more anxious just talking about it. Have you ever had that feeling? It's called a panic attack or an anxiety attack, and I didn't know what it was for the longest time. All right, let me give you my history. About 5 years ago, I moved from Virginia down to Miami, Florida, because of a separation, divorce that was going on, and I wanted a life restart. Now, the first few months were pretty good. So much going on, getting everything up from scratch, meeting new friends, a new place where I didn't know anybody. Life was pretty good. And then one day, something felt different. I was tired. I had no energy. I just felt anxious, and I felt a lot of things that I had never ever felt before, and I didn't know what the heck it was. Now, one thing I was afraid of was we have to go back in time. There is an autoimmune disease called Guillain-Barré, and it is basically where your body creates antibodies that eat the nerve sheathing, and it leaves you paralyzed. I've had it twice. Now, it's a kind of a unique feeling when it comes on. Basically, your arms and your legs have no energy. They're very tired. They can barely walk, move, carry anything, and it happens very, very rapidly. For instance, the second time that it happened to me, I was sitting at work. I knew what the feeling was, and by the time I got home, which was a 20-minute drive, I could barely walk. It's quick. It's also the exact same feeling that an anxiety attack for me feels like. So, guess what my worst nightmare is? Last time I had it, it took me almost a year to recuperate. And every time I have one of these attacks, that's what I swear is happening. Now, when this first hit way back 5 years ago in 2014, I didn't know what was going on. Anxiety, mental health was the last thing on my mind. I went to my doctor, who checked me for everything, every test known to man, and I came back perfectly healthy. Somehow I started swearing that it was low testosterone, and it turns out that mine was as high as it's, like a 20-year-old should be. There was no reason for it, and they couldn't find anything. And then one day, I was sitting in a work meeting, a sudden phone call. Some people at work decided that they wanted to do some political nonsense, and they tried to get me fired. Instantly in this phone call, every feeling I had ever had up until that point for the past few months surfaced all at once, and I suddenly realized I was having an anxiety attack, a panic attack. This was stress-related or something similar. Now, me being me, I couldn't just let it go with that. I had to get out the spreadsheets. I had to get out all of my data points. I had to figure this thing out. There was no reason for it suddenly to have started, so I had to find out what that reason was. I tracked everything from food to liquids to sleep to stress levels to you name it. I tracked it along with this another spreadsheet of what I was feeling and how I was feeling and when I was feeling it, and I tried to correlate everything, and what came up was there was no correlation. So then I went in reverse. Well, what am I not doing? Am I not doing something that I used to do? And I tracked all of that and all of my feelings, and guess what? Again, no correlation. I became convinced at that point that it was environmental, that palm tree pollen or the sun was the reason for my anxiety. Tracked all of that. Again, nothing. Now, bear in mind, this took about 4 years. I am having panic attacks. It's like a sine wave for me. I'll go 2-3 weeks. I'm perfectly fine, happy. And then I'll go through a couple weeks of struggling. Sometimes they're minor, sometimes not so much. At some point I figured out it was mental and emotional. I didn't want to go down that path because you go to a doctor, they give you a pill, they come up with a diagnostic, and it's fixed. Well, that wasn't going to happen. You know, could I avoid tree pollen or not eat sugar with soy milk in my coffee? There was something that I could easily solve, but there wasn't, and that left me with something that was going to take a long time to figure out. And it did. I actually went to a therapist. She was, I love her to death, but she's one of these holistic, let's sit under the crystal pyramid while we listen to yogi music and talk about our inner feelings. The last part worked. I felt safe. I felt like I could talk to her. I felt like I could talk about the things that were going on. I got to explore a lot of the history that I've had, including the Guillain-Barré, including many, many failed relationships and marriages. The last one, which actually led me to Florida. Discussions of what I wanted out of life, my relationships with my parents, the fact that my mother died when I was 16. There was a whole lot of things that I had never really faced because I'm a tough son of a bitch, and I never really thought I would have to. Now, that was the good news. I started feeling better. I started having the ability to admit, I don't want to say control this, but I had the ability to deal with it. That was up to about a month ago. And then I got the flu. So what does the flu have to do with this? I wish the hell I knew. The flu we got was not your ragtag ordinary flu. Nikki and I both were down for about 2.5 weeks, literally down. Most of that time could not get out of bed, kind of down. No energy at all, just felt like absolute shit. I'm still having to stop this video every now and then just so I could cough and hack things up that aren't there. The problem was my body got so hard hit that the anxiety came back. And by that I mean every single day during the flu and every single day that's been afterwards, and that's been about 1.5 weeks now, I get attacks. I'm popping Xanax every day just to try to get them under control, and I don't understand why something that I had a grip on, something that was mental, now is back in my life, and I don't want them to be. Okay, so how do we wrap this up? The answer is, I don't know, because I don't quite know what's going on. I actually came up here because this lake soothes me. When I am stressed, when I'm having an anxiety attack, I come up here and I listen to nice music, and I look at the birds and I look at the greenery, and I feel a little better. And I wanted to come up today because I couldn't control this latest anxiety attack any other way. I wanted to make some videos. I hadn't intended on doing this one. Honestly, on the drive up, I was thinking about doing a sponsorship video and an anniversary video and some other stuff. And then I realized maybe I should talk about this because maybe somebody else is having the same issue. And if nothing else, I'll go back and play this and listen to it. My goal is to understand why having such a stressed out body caused this reaction again, something that I thought I had under control. There's obviously things that are much deeper than what I was hoping the short answer would be. I am now on about 5 years of this nonsense, stuff that is never happened before. I had no inkling that this could even happen. Didn't even know what it was. Now I do. And I'm hoping to get a grip on it. I'm finally starting to understand that maybe, just maybe, this is kind of going to be with me for a while. I need to learn to make friends with it. I need to learn to slap them down. I need to learn how to control it. I've started this little mantra every single morning of all these positive things. Well, actually, I haven't started it yet. I wrote them down today. Tomorrow morning, I get to start reading them. Things like, I will feel better in my own skin. I do not have anxiety. I am important. I am this and I am that. And all of the things that I want to be and perhaps have gotten a little way with, but I do know if I'm going to wrap this thing up, and I'm sorry for blathering on, but you're still watching this, so you must be interested. And there's the flu. I think the bottom line for me is I need to stop having this reaction, this instant reaction, this belief that I am a person with anxiety. No, I am not. I am a person whose body has anxiety. I don't have to be. I can make choices. I am a grown-ass adult male, and I can make choices. And starting today, like I was before the flu, I choose to be happy. Now, if you have this going on too, I hope that you can choose to be happy. I hope you can fight through whatever it is you need to fight. Again, reach out to me if you just need somebody to chat with, you want to share your story. I'm here for you. And I'm not a therapist. There's no advice I could give you because I got none for myself, but maybe we can help each other out. If not, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. I got a little bit off my chest. I actually do feel a little better than I did before I showed up here, and it might have to do with the ducks and the greenery and the lake, and it might have to do with the fact that you're my therapist for the day, and for that I thank you. So, Rick Hijinks here, wandering around a lake somewhere in South Miami, Florida. I am going to go be a pirate. I'm not going to wander. I'm going to sit and chill. We'll talk to you later.